Thank you very much, and pin it. Okay, so the next part is actually course learning outcome and the main assignment. So if I actually deliver not the right way, I hope that Dr. MK will give some
Mic
reminder.
off.
And then we also will go to the business registration for the students. And after that, we actually going to discuss about one of the signature program that we try to embed, that we have embedded on this subject, which is SAM, stand for Sustainable Entrepreneur Mindset Showcase 5.0, which is this is basically the fifth semester we're going to organize this competition for all the sections. And the most important part is actually online business, whereby I'm going to share with you, brief with you with regard to dropship and go e-commerce reporting for the assignment. Okay, so first of all, I would like to introduce about our center. So I hope that by now you already know about the existence of UTM x-cite, which is a unit or a center under UTM I-League, okay, Institute for Life Ready Graduate. Okay, so we actually unit that responsible for the innovative and entrepreneurial learning that unleash the spirit of collaborative innovation and entrepreneurship among UTM communities, SME, entrepreneurship development agencies, particularly among the students. So make sure you try to like our Facebook page, or you can also follow us on Instagram as well as LinkedIn, and any kind of further information, you can simply go to our website. Okay, so basically we're going to support the coordinator here, Dr. MK, with regard to the programs. Perhaps we also make some trainings, competition for you to actually embark yourself in the entrepreneurship and innovative learning at UTM. Okay. So this is actually the CLO for this subject. I trust that during the week 1 or week 2, most of your lecturers have discussed with regard to the 4 main CLO that going to, whereby by the end of this course, all of you should actually fulfill the requirement for the CLO here. So in essence, we actually have 4 CLO. Okay, so I just going to simplify what are the CLOs under the subject. The first CLO definitely is actually with regard to the main concept or fundamental concept of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs. So with regard to this, the main assignment that you need to do in a group, basically to produce an entrepreneur magazine. Okay, so I believe that many of the lecturers also already discussed regarding this. What you need to do normally, okay, during this kind of post-pandemic COVID-19, in order to limit movement of students, so we actually advise the student just to attend a webinar, okay, which is we're going to organize several webinars, so you need to attend the webinar, okay, individually, and after that you need to make the report in a group, and eventually you need to produce what we call as entrepreneur magazine, which is the report for this assignment, and this is going to contribute 20%. Okay, the next part is actually develop an innovative business concept. So this is where it's actually going to be assessed by individual business pitching. You need to present any kind of business ideas. Okay, and then after that, CLO2 and CLOT more or less is actually interrelated. After you already develop this kind of ideas, for example, you want to come up with an app, so you need to discuss in a group. Okay, and after that, you need to develop some kind of conceptual prototype or some kind of what we call it visualization of your ideas. Okay, whereby you need to produce BMC as well as the video, and this is where the lecturers from all sections, for your information, for these semesters, we basically have about 56 sections, and then the total number of students who are enrolling for this subject is about 2030 plus, okay, which is quite a lot. Okay, so by to fulfill this kind of thing, the lecturers normally going to select one representative from each class, from each section, to represent for a signature event called SAMS, Sustainable Entrepreneur Mindset Showcase. I hope that I have what we call it sometimes. Hello, what happened? Wait a moment. I think some interruption happened here. Someone share. I need to share again. I'm sorry. I'm not so sure why. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so back to this. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is actually, I'm going to discuss about SAM letter. And lastly is actually what we call it a business activity, whereby you're going to conduct an online business activity, whether through dropship or perhaps you actually have another options. Okay, that means beside the dropship business, you can also actually choose any kind of business as long as you are able to fulfill this kind of assignment. Okay. Okay, the next aspect is so the main aspect that I'm going to share with you with regard to the registration of the business. Okay, so every group, so this is not based on individual. Okay, after you have decided what kind of activities that you want to do for CLO number 4, this one. Okay, for CLO number 4, this is what we call as you need to conduct a small scale digital business activity. Okay, so from here, everyone, you need to register your business, in which is going to contribute 20% out of 100% of the 50%. That means 10% of the total investment for this subject will be coming from this activity, the business registration, because we want to educate the student. Whatever business that you want to do, definitely you need to register your business. Like in Malaysia, you need to register with SSM, but for us to cater with this kind of the needs for the university, so you're going to register your business with MSI. Okay, but in case you actually have some kind of motivation to register your business with SSM, please go ahead with that. Okay. Okay, so the next part is actually the link. So we're not open the link yet. We're going to share with the lecturers by tomorrow. Okay, so your lecturer is going to share with you, okay, the link for the business registrations. Okay, so for the business registration, as I mentioned, is a group work. Okay, so that means you're going to form a group. Only the leader of the group need to register the business, and then make sure you also, my goodness, another kind of interruption, wait a moment. Can you look at my slide?
Loading, still waiting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes,
it
now
stopped
can.
suddenly.
Right.
It stopped suddenly. I'm not so sure what happened. I believe that since we have so many participants, that's why it's happened like this. Okay, so back to this kind of things. So like I mentioned, it's actually a group work. For example, for the CLO number 4, so you need to form a group. For example, you want to sell choco jar. Okay, so make sure the leader need to register the business and include all the members' name. Okay, so we also, you can simply go to our website. When you go to UTM x-cite website, you can simply Google it. So go to this tab, you can see UTM startup registration, and then fill up this form. So this is basically the link. Okay, and we also give some kind of guideline. That means you need to follow the guideline for you to get the approval. So this is some of the guideline. That means the name should be in accordance with the guideline provided by SSM. For example, you cannot use the royal name. You cannot use, for example, mixed languages. So make sure you read all the guideline. We already attach the guideline on our website. Okay, and then we also put like not exceeding 5 people if possible. Okay, in case your lecturers assign your group up to 6 students, so please let us know. So normally the ideal number for any kind of business activity is 5 people. And then for the international students, okay, listen to me, all the international student registration need to be done in group with local students. So make sure you also what we call it, the lecturers must make sure that the group formation should comprise of mixed students. That means comprise of both local and international students. Okay. Another part, sometimes we also receive an overwhelming like this registration, that means applications. So normally we actually try our best to fulfill the to give the approval for the application within 5 working days. I'm going to say like that, 5 working days, but sometimes you please let in case if you actually do not receive the approval, that means the once you actually your application has been approved, everyone, you're going to be given this kind of certificate. This is what we call as UTM at site student startup certificate. you need to attach this certificate on your report. Okay, so this is very important. So make sure you are able to get this certificate. Okay, once you actually fill up the form, make the application for the business registration. So the next process, please try to it within 5 working days. If perhaps we actually miss your name, or perhaps we actually take some time to check the appropriability of your names. So please give us a reminder to our email utm@utm.my. Okay. Okay. So that's actually what need to be done so far for the business registration. Please keep your question. I'm going to open the question after this. The next aspect that I'm going to share with you is with regard to SAMs. Okay, so this is very important because not everyone will have the opportunity to participate. Normally, your lecturers going to choose one best team to represent the group for the competition. Okay, so this competition focusing on what we call it the development of innovation project, which is that kind of innovation project should be in line. That means the ideas, the solution, or even the prototype should be in line with this kind of SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. I just make an early announcement. So by next week, there's going to be a webinar with regard to the SDG and innovation. I really encourage all the lecturers, all the students, all the lecturers to ask the students to join the webinar for you to get a better understanding what SDG all about, and more importantly, what kind of innovation project that could be developed, which is in line with the SDG. Okay. So that means all the class activities, your lecturers are going to coordinate this kind of class activities. So they're going to ask you to develop this kind of innovation project, okay? And then the innovation project should be in line with SDG. So eventually by week 8 or week 9, your lecturer is going to select one team to represent your section. Okay, so this is actually the history of SAMs that we started to organize back in 2019. So this is the 5th series, okay, of the SAM. So we have conducted, what is called as SAM is actually Sustainable Internet Mindset Showcase. So prior to COVID-19 pandemic, we actually executed this program through physical, face-to-face, like can be seen on this picture. But since we have COVID-19 already, so most probably for this semester, we still conduct through online. You can see the picture here. Okay. Okay, so this is the timeline whereby by end of week 8, which is few days before Eid al-Fitri, before Raya, normally your lecturer is going to select the best project to represent the group. Okay, so what basically the perks of joining this competition, besides you will actually get the cert, so you will get some amount of what we call it monetary prize. Okay, for example, the top 3 winners going to get the first prize 500, second place 300, third place 200. And we also have another category, best video, best presentation, best poster. I forgot to put it here. As well as your lecturer also have the chance to be recognized as the best advisors. Okay, and SDG basically we divide we classify, we actually divided into 17 categories based on 17 SDGs. So we actually going to select one winner as well for each category. So this is going to be brief in depth by your lecturers. I have actually disseminated the guideline, what is SAM all about. So make sure you're going to you need to ask your lecturers with regard to this program if you really want to participate. But it's very competitive because we want to give opportunity for all 56 sections, whereby all the 56 sections you have their representative. Okay. Okay, so the next, this is the assessment rubric. I don't want to share to elaborate more. So the next aspect, which is very important, everyone, is business activity. Okay, so this is with regard to CLO number 4. Okay, if you look here, all of you basically in a group are required to plan and organize a small scale business activity using an online business method. What does it mean? Because nowadays, not every one of you are at the campus. Am I right? Some of you still at the hometown. Okay, And I would say that more than 50% of you basically first and second year students. So that means your chance to go back to the campus is very low unless you are final year student, okay, which is lab class as well as you need to complete your PSM. Okay, so why we actually ask the student, because this is online, why we call it online business method, because everyone actually should embrace yourself when you do this kind of business activity to use what we call it social media. I also read from the comment, someone actually said that if it is good if you can open the booth or if you are at the campus. Yes, previously some of the lecturers, what they are doing, they basically make a business carnival, like 1 or 2 days for the student to do this kind of business activity. But again, because of we actually want to minimize the movement of the students, so I think and currently what we actually try to do is quite in line with the current trend. Many of the entrepreneurs are doing business through online. So here each group should conduct business activity using social media. Okay, each report should be concluded with all point learned. We also, I think the coordinator have shared to all lecturers, okay, the rubric for the online business activity. I'm going to brief a bit because I also put it here, but at least you can get some kind of understanding how are you going to be assessed for this kind of assessment, which is going to contribute 50%. Okay, okay, so here for the business activity, one of the most important aspect is actually reporting. This is very important, guys. Okay, so everyone, okay, every single student, which is about 2,030 plus students who are taking entrepreneurship subject for these semesters, need to register yourself through the class section to the Go e-commerce system portal. Okay, so this is actually the website like mdac.my/go e-commerce. Okay. So make sure you go here and then you go to this website. Okay. Once you go to the website, you click register. Okay. And then once you click register, okay, so you can simply see this kind of form. You need to fill it up first. For the international student, make sure you actually, because you need to put your passport number. For Malaysian, you don't have to worry. You just simply put your IC card number, identity card number. But for international student, you actually must make sure, if I'm not mistaken, the number should be uh, 8 digit lah. Kalau rasa tak cukup, you sorry. If it's actually not enough number, so make sure you add the number 0 in front or at the end of the passport number. Okay. Okay. So you need to set it up. Okay. Make sure you put your username, password, full name, postcode. One of the things that I want to highlight, if you have registered this before, for example, you actually taken this subject during your diploma, especially those students from polytechnic. Okay. So make sure you actually try to reapply, okay, for the business registration, and then we're going to change your university. Okay, so for other students, so make sure once you fill up all the details here, so please click student at university. Some of the students they made a mistake. They put themselves as a micro entrepreneurs. No, okay, you actually doing this business activity as a students at the TVET or university. So make sure you click that. So once you click that one, you can simply connect your account with the lecturers, whereby your lecturers can see the progress of your business activity. Okay, so it's very important because at the end of the semesters, we are even with x-cite couldn't actually see the overall achievement. We need to get the data from MDAC, which is the agency that responsible for this. Uh, so we actually going to see the achievement by section. Okay, by section. Okay, so that's why it's very important for the lecturers to see the progress of your business activity. And this kind of thing has been practiced not at UTM only. If you go to if you go to UPM, if you go to USM, yes, if you go to USIM, if you go to UMT, UMK, UNIMAS or UMS, I would say that 70% of the university have adopted this kind of system, okay, for the entrepreneurship class. That means you need to register with Go e-commerce. So this is the website. Okay, make sure you write it down. Okay, here mdat.my/go e-commerce. Okay, I'm going to share the link as well with your lecturers. Hopefully, your lecturer will share with all of you soon. Okay. Okay, so the next aspect is actually dropship. So this is kind of opportunity for you to do as well, because nowadays, sorry, the slide in Malay, but I try my best to translate in English. So this is another aspect. So perhaps you actually face some kind of challenge to find what we call it supplier for your business, and then perhaps you also actually don't have time, and then this is one of the best way for the student to embark yourself in the business through dropship business. Okay, what is dropship business? You simply do a business with a minimal cost or no cost at all, and you do not required to keep the stock. Okay, so what you do, basically you do the promotion, take the order from the customers, and then you take the payment from the customers, and then you place the order to the vendors. The vendors is the one that responsible to deliver the product to the customers. Okay, this is how it works. So imagine yourself in a group. For example, like this semester, my student have like a group, which is one of the student in Kuwait, one of the student in Indonesia, and 3 student in Malaysia. So what I advise them to do is they need to delegate the task. Which one among them, who's among them that basically responsible to upload photo? Which one among them is actually responsible to communicate to the customers? Which one of them need to communicate with the suppliers? So you need to make sure that you do this kind of delegation very well. Okay. Normally, guys, we actually advise the student to conduct this kind of business activity after midterm break. That's actually quite norm for past few semesters. But since this semester, we need to take advantage of Raya Festival, Idil Fitri Festival, which is many people would love to do some shopping. That means to increase the number of sales. So that's why we advise all the lecturers to advise the students to conduct this kind of business activity as soon as possible. Okay, in order for us to get the advantage of Idil Fitri Festival. Okay, so if you look here, so this is where we actually do the dropship. Okay, by the way, we're also going to share the list of dropship that have collaboration with us with them at site. So I don't want to actually elaborate this more. So the thing like this. So when you choose the dropship, make sure you just choose from credible vendors or business, because we want to avoid the student to be cheated, because this is we try to govern in terms of what we call it to limit this kind of problems, okay, when you do this kind of business activity. Okay, so here what we actually offer you, we also make some collaboration. That means website have in contact with them, with them, and they're willing to help the students to do this kind of business activity. I'm going to share the list of the vendors here. That means the drop shipping companies to the lectures, and the lecturer is going to share with you in case you are interested to join this program. We're going to monitor as well. Okay. So there's few companies, for example, Cocodamia, which is selling chocolate-based cookies, and then Mama Sap is quite popular, especially in the Semenanjung Peninsula, Malaysia. Zandra, I think you're quite popular with that. Okay, Sugar Boom, you know about that as well. And then we also have Supreme Hero, which is selling detergent for cleaning your clothes. Okay, and then you baby. So if you actually interested to selling the aspect the baby's product, so please do so. And then we also have a company from UTM, which is Sweet Derm Hand and Body Lotions. Okay, this is by UTN spin-off company. And then if you want to sell baju kurung here, we have Hasnuri, and then the Salama we're going to share with you. Again, if you look here, the commission that you're going to receive is quite different based on the companies. And then the registration fees is different. Many of them basically give for free, but some of them you need to pay a very minimal fee. And then in terms of delivery, you don't have to worry, because many of the delivery aspect would be handled by the HQ. That means the vendor going to do for you. Okay, you just need to ask from the vendors to provide you with this kind of shopping pula apa, post laju number, courier number, for example. Okay, and then we also have some aspect as robotics secret. This is actually our student startup company in case you want to sell some kind of robotic kits. Okay, to others. Okay, and then again, this is shampoo. If you want to go something with regard to the what we call it cosmetic industry, you can try shampoo. And then makanan again, which is food. Okay, baking soon, for example. And then last one, pakarita. So this is selling jubah, kurta, jubah wanita, which is actually women clothes. I'm going to share all of this in case you are interested to join this. And then the best part of it, UTM site going to monitor your progress. Okay, we're going to actually have a direct communication with the vendors. So in case you have any problem, we are there to assist you. I have my staff who going to assess you guys with regard with this. Okay, and then most probably for this semester, I need to spill the tea right now. We're also going to conduct some kind of competition with regard to dropship business. So that means those group that manage to come out with a very good marketing aspect for the business activity going to actually be rewarded. I'm going to announce within 1 or 2 weeks the dropship business competition. So, but the dropship business competition only for those who participating with our vendors here, which we have 13 vendors. Okay, so inshallah within 1 week or 2 weeks, we're going to announce that kind of competition. So we're going to assess because the vendor is going to assess the performance, and we're going to assess the performance based on your Facebook, on Instagram, as well as your what we call it copywriting, your picture on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so that's another competition that going to be conducted somewhere. We're going to announce somewhere during mid of Ramadan. Okay, and normally we're going to announce after Raya who's become the winner lah. Okay, so this is actually the process of dropship business program by UTM site. Okay, so if you look here, we have a registration. I'm going to share this slide with your lecturers. Your lecturer is going to promote in case you are interested to join with the business dropship business program with UTM site. Okay. Oh, Shafika, you also do just some kind of dropship. You can communicate with us. Okay, you can become vendors with them at site. Please do so. Okay, and then we have this kind of selection. Okay, that means we're going to filter all the students who requested to join with this program. And then the training session will be conducted by business owners. UTM site going to monitor that, and then we're going to provide some support as well. And more importantly, we're also going to assist you in terms of the reporting on the Go e-commerce. Okay. Okay. So this is actually the rubric. Yeah, this is in English. Thanks God. Okay. So basically, this basically the rubric for 50%. Okay. I'm going to discuss briefly. So if you look here, so for example, the business registration going to contribute 20% or 10 marks of the total assessment. So previously, most students, they are required to register with SSM. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic and restriction, that's why we actually just requested the student to register with UTM at startup form. At least UTM can get the data. How many students are currently doing a business in campus? It's very important for us to know that. Okay, and then so I already about the form, and then form only need to register for the business registration. We're going to open by tomorrow, inshallah. We have the link already, but we still not open the link yet because we want to update few other what we call it components. Okay, inside the form. Okay, and then this is actually introduction. So this is something that you need to do when you submit a report to your lecturers. That means you need to include this kind of business information, introduction of the business. So it's going to be assessed 5 marks, so 2.5 marks in total. Okay, so for example, you should include the name, chart of the business, okay, mission and vision, description of your product as well as the price list. Okay, so this is social media marketing. If you look here, that's why we actually ask you to do the business through Instagram or Facebook. Simply because 30% of the mark, which is 15% of the mark, will be coming uh, from the perspective of how good you are, your team using or adopting social media tools, okay, in doing the business. So here, we're going to assess in terms of social media visibility, okay, and then copywriting, how you do the teaser, hard sell and soft sell, as well as frequency of posting. We also try our best to organize few what we call it online training, okay, for those who in case you feel so, you know, hopeless or do not know how to use this kind of social media marketing tools, worry no less, we actually going to provide you with this kind of online training, normally fully booked lah. So the moment we actually advertise, so make sure you register your business. For example, how to do business through Facebook, okay, how to make money through Instagram, okay, and then we also make some kind of Shopee kind of business activity, okay. So make sure if you advertise, so make sure you register it faster, because is the what we call it, the application is very fast, okay. And then this is the rubric. I believe that all the lecturers already have this kind of rubric because it's already been shared to all the lecturers. Okay, so this is the self report. That's why I shared just now. You also need to do some reporting on Go e-commerce portal by MDAC. Okay, so I'm going to highlight tentatively, for you to get a good mark, you need to actually make 150 ringgit of sales individually for the group. Okay, so that means, let me try to clarify this. If you have 5 members in a group, okay, so that means you need to have at least 750 ringgit for your group sales. You got it, okay? So that's actually depending on the lecturers how they're going to assess, but we actually put the KPI, okay, KPI, that means the target for each student. You need to generate 150 ringgit of sales. Basically, it's sales, not profit. You need to differentiate the main difference between profit and sales. For this assignment, we just focus on sales. That means any amount of money, any amount of what we call it sale that you manage to get from your customers. Okay, it's not profit. Okay, for example, let me share with you. Some of the students, it is quite easy for them to get 150 sales. For example, they're selling baju kurung, they're selling baju Melayu. Baju Melayu, a piece of a pair of baju Melayu is cost about 100 or 120, for example. Okay, so you need to take it positively. I think it's doable because last semester, I believe, Dr. Sarina, are you here? Dr. Sam,
Yes, yes, I'm here, Toma. Yes.
can you share the highest amount of sale that been the highest amount of sale that been generated by your students, obtained by your students?
Which semester? Previous semester?
Any semester lah, any semester will do.
Okay, the highest is 20,000.
20,000 for group or individual?
Group basis.
Group, okay. That means,
Yeah.
for example, like Dr. Sabrina students managed to get 20,000 ringgit. Divide by 5, so that means each student basically generate 4,000 ringgit. Dr. Sabrina?
Yes, correct.
So what basically the product that they sell during that time?
Okay. Basically, this student is very clever. Okay. They aim for the convocations during the convocations period.
Oh,
Okay. They
okay,
sell
the
a
competition.
bouquet, and then besides that, they sell numbers of items. It's not only focused on one product, but then they have like more than 5 products at one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sabrina. It's a very good sharing session.
Thank
I
you.
believe that what has been said by Dr. Sabrina is very true. So you need this is where we need to test your entrepreneurial skill, how you're going to identify opportunity. Okay, so I believe that you can simply get 4-5,000 per group because of we actually what we call it in the festival of Raya lah, basically. Raya basically the Eid al-Fitri within for the next 1.5 month kita akan sambut raya, right? So you don't have to worry. Okay, so try to selling kuih raya, baju kurung, songkok, tudung, all of that basically could be able to generate a lot of sales as well as profit. Okay, so make sure you discuss with your lecturers what basically the best product that you could basically do, that you can basically choose for your business activity. Okay, yes, okay, so that's actually for the sales report part of it, which the sales report will be accessed through Go e-commerce portal. Okay, so I have mentioned about this just now. And then the next part is about teamwork. So this is where your lecturers, this is the mark will be given by lecturers based on how good you are in managing the business. Okay, in terms of two aspects, delegation of works as well as time management. And on your report, you also need to make some kind of respective writing. I believe that your lecturer is going to discuss and elaborate regarding this. That means each individual, by the end of this assignment, you need to make some kind of reflection. What have you learned? Okay, because you are coming from diverse courses. Some of you from engineering, from science, from business, from human resource, from what we call it, biomedical engineering, science, computer. So, but when it comes to this, what basically you learn? Is it just making a profit, or perhaps you learn something with regard to customer relationship, communication skill, digital skill, social media skill, and then anger management, where you deal with the customer basically rejected your product, something like that, you're being cheated by them. So this is actually, we're not actually focusing on entrepreneurship skill only, but we also want to develop, nurture all of you to be entrepreneurial. Having said that, you should be able to come up with solution out of the box. Okay, so I think I'm moving to another aspect. So since I already introduced about the role of UTM x-cite, besides we also making some kind of program for the student in case you actually need some kind of funding, okay, to run a business, not only for your class. Perhaps you want to get, you have a business right now. I believe some of you have a business, because I met so many students nowadays who are currently doing a business online, selling tudung, selling perfume, so on and so forth. So basically, if you need any kind of assistance with regard to money, okay, so this is not grant, this is actually micro credit. We're going to offer to you with no interest at all. For example, if you apply to us to get like 1,000 ringgit in order to accelerate your business, okay, so you need to pay again 1,000 ringgit, okay, without any interest. So we have like few what we call it aspect. And indeed, we also, in case you also want to focus on innovation project, so we actually in the midst of what we call it preparing a paperwork to MTDC to provide some kind of grant for the student as well. And at UTM x-cite, basically we have a lot of program that eventually we can give some amount of monetary prize for you to accelerate your business. Okay, I really hope that you get a better understanding from my briefing session today or tonight. Okay, with all of you with regard to the class. Any questions? So you can ask me, or perhaps the coordinator, Dr. Hadrin, are you here? Dr. Harudin? Dr. Harudin, Dr. Sabrina? And
Yes,
any
I'm here.
lecturers here? Any lecturers? Okay. I
Yes,
open to any
here,
questions.
Toma.
I open to any questions. Is it necessary to register to SXM? Okay, I actually answer from Facebook Live. Okay, thank you very much, Irene Wong, for asking the question. So basically, for this semester, it's not compulsory, but you need to register with UTM x-cite registration form. Okay, student startup form. Okay, so it's very important because it's going to contribute 10% in total from the whole assessment. Okay, so any more questions? I have so many participants tonight. For example, on the WebEx, I can see about 600, on the Facebook Live, about 650. So in total, the number of participants who joined the session is about 1,300 plus. So make sure you basically sign up your attendance, because we're going to record the attendance and give you merit by attending this event tonight. Okay, any more questions?
Yeah, please. Excuse me.
Yes, please.
You just
Your name?
mentioned.
Your
My name is
name and
Isa.
from which section? Sorry?
My name is Isa.
Hi, Isa. Okay. You're
Okay,
from which
just
country? I believe you're an international student, right?
yes.
Okay. So, Isa, how can we help you?
You have just mentioned about that each group must be mixed between local and international. Can you re-explain about
Yes.
it? Why we need that? Because we already formed some groups, and
You're from which country?
I'm from which country? I'm from
Yes.
Egypt.
Egypt. So all your members from Egypt?
Some Indonesian, some from Bangladesh, but I don't think there is Malaysian.
Okay, so what kind of business are you actually plan to do? Because the thing like this, many if you actually if you decided to actually make all the members coming from international students who are international students, so one of the things that you need to aware, first, basically, why we ask you to form the group, because sometimes for the business registration, basically with SSM, is it should be what we call it registered by local people. That's one part. But the second part is actually if you run the business, we don't have any restriction, but we actually encourage if someone from local or from Malaysian. But the thing is like this, you need to report the transaction in Malaysia ringgit, because everyone need to register for Go e-commerce. Okay, and then the currency that being used basically Malaysia ringgit. So if you do the transaction, okay, in foreign currency other than Malaysia ringgit, so make sure you're able to convert that, because this is part of the what we call it assessment just now. As I mentioned, one of the criteria we're going to assess is we want to make sure that every student basically able to generate around 150 ringgit per students. That means if you have 5 members in a group, so that group should actually generate about 750 students. Again, Isa, please actually discuss with your lecturers regarding this. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
No worries.
You, sir?
Yes.
Hello. Yes. I have like two quick questions, please.
Yes, Mustaba.
Yes. The first question is like, my members and I basically, we intend on having different selling methods. So my one of my team members is actually Malaysian, and he's opting for the drop shipping method. Okay, and I am opting for the direct selling method because in my country here, it's not you can't drop ship, but you have to like direct sell. So
Okay.
basically, my question is that can we like make our own receipts for like the direct selling method? Since like that's like the only thing which I can do for the moment.
So having said
And
that, Mustafa, let me try get some clarification with regard to your situations. So in your group, you have two different products that you're going to sell. Am I right? Your friends going to two different
yeah,
products.
we're selling like the same. We're selling like electronic gadgets, but like we're using different methods. Like my team members and I.
Oh, both of you are selling similar product, which is electronic gadgets.
Yeah,
Correct
like
me if I'm wrong.
all three of us. Yes.
Okay, so it's okay. I think since you have already asked this question, okay, if one of that means, because I believe that you are basically dispersed around the world, not only in Malaysia. Some of you in Indonesia, even those in Malaysia, you actually living in different towns, hometown. Okay, so basically, our recommendation, please make sure the first aspect you're selling similar product, even though you want to sell that means if you want to actually have different product, make sure it's actually in the same category. For example, if you are selling food, make sure other student also selling food, because on the Go e-commerce, okay, you need to decide which product that you're going to sell, whether you are selling food or you are selling what we call it cosmetic, or you are selling clothes. Okay, so our recommendation, because later on the business registration you need to state what kind of product you're going to sell, one part. Secondly, on the Go e-commerce, so you need to highlight, you need to state what kind of product. So make sure it's actually similar. Okay, because we afraid that you might face some problem in terms of reporting letter. But what happened with Mustaba is good because you are selling different, you are selling similar product category. So that means it shouldn't be have no issue. Just make sure that each of you record the sales product. That means should have some kind of evidence as simple as receipt. Okay, like Mustafa said, you actually doing face to face. Most probably you don't have any kind of problem in doing that. Okay, so that means maybe you take a photo with the customers or the way you actually sending the item to the customers, and then your friend in Malaysia also put some kind of evidence that they have some kind of communication or transaction with the suppliers. Okay, Mustafa, what's basically the second question?
Thank you for that. The second question is that which websites are we like supposed to register in other than UTM x-cite and e-commerce?
Okay, so far just two. Okay, so far just two website. Okay, which is go for the UTM site is going to direct you with the business registration. For the Go e-commerce, basically for business activity reporting. Okay, which is sales report, not the whole business, because eventually you also need to submit a full report of your business activity to your lecturers. Okay, Dr. MK, Dr. Hairudin,
Yeah.
do we actually give some example to all the lecturers? Ada tak?
Yes, we have the example of the report inside the Google Drive.
Yeah, that's good. That means your lecturers basically have same picture. So how basically the report will look like? Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Harudin. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Mustafa, for the
welcome.
question.
Right.
Okay, so I have another question by Zarif. Is it must to form a group? Yes. Basically, I'm a first year student. I still don't recognize any UTM student. Don't worry. Okay, for those who are first year students, so seek help from your lecturers. So because this assignment, I would say that for this subject, 90% should be coming from group work. 85 to 90%. Am I right, Dr. MK? 85 to 90% of the total assessment should be assessed through group work.
Yes,
Okay?
definitely.
So that's the reason why it's very important for you to find a group even via online. So ask your lecturers to help you. Okay, ask your lecturers to help you. Okay, so Nurul Atika, I have so many questions on Facebook Live. If we are the drop shipper for the receipt, we need to use the name company that we register as startup or the name the company that we register as a drop ship. Oh, so normally for the dropship business, okay, so please try your best to use a common, a standard, what we call it, a similar kind of name, okay, Atika. That means if you register your business as ABC Enterprise, for example, so make sure when you deal with the suppliers, you also try your best to use that kind of name, okay. I also encourage you, perhaps we're going to have a session later. We try our best to communicate with SSM. You are not compulsory to register with SSM for this semester. However, we also have some kind, if we have an opportunity to invite SSM, they're going to advise you how you could basically register SSM as a student. You get for free. If you register without a student status, you need to pay 70 ringgit. But if you register SSM, if you really want to expand your business after the class, after this subject, I mean, not only for the subject, for your business development, please do so. Okay, hopefully for this semester, I try my best to communicate with SSM and make some kind of talk to all of you. Okay, so thank you very much, Nurul Atika, for the question. So any more questions?
Hello,
Doctor.
I have a question.
Okay, please, Dahlan ke?
Okay, yep, Dahalan. Hi, doctor. Can I ask, is there a limit, like any items that we can't sell? Like, can we sell services or something?
Good question. What kind of service are you targeting to? What's the services that you plan to do?
At the moment, we don't have a solid idea, but like if it's like, is it allowed to sell services?
Okay, for example, if you do this kind of like proofreading or perhaps editing services, or perhaps you become like freelance for the websites, so the thing like this, how are you going to, what we call it, delegate the task among your team members? We don't have any kind of issue with regard to that, but if you want to proceed with the business, with the service type of business, so please consult with your lecturers. I believe that the lecturer will guide you, but we don't actually limit that you only do this kind of stock, what we call it, product based business. You can also make some kind of service based business, but must make sure that how are you going to, what we call it, try to do the business. Okay, any more question?
Yeah, I do have a
Hello.
question. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Abrar Hamid from Bangladesh. I
Okay,
am currently
Abrar.
engaged in the section 32 of UBSS. My
Section
question is that section
section
32, 30,
okay,
32, yeah.
32. Okay.
Okay, so most of our group members are actually outside Malaysia.
Hmm.
There are no locals in our group. Now,
Mm-hmm.
suppose we propose a business and wanted to conduct the business in one of the team members' country. Like I'm from Bangladesh, I want to conduct the business in my country, and then my group members will assist me in many areas. Is there any restriction on where to conduct the business? Can we conduct the business outside
Uh,
Malaysia?
I won't say there is a restriction for that. You actually have the freedom to do that as long as you know how to fulfill the requirement for the class. That means, you able to show some evidence, for example, and you're able to convert the sales into Malaysian ringgit. That's it. Okay. Dr. MK, do you have any idea with regard to this? I think this is quite challenging for this semester as well, Dr. Harudin.
I think there is no problem in terms of the international students wants to run the business in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no problem. Unless you want to buy some assets or something like that, yeah, there will be some limitation in terms of that. But for business, no problem. You can run in Malaysia. I hope
Yep.
I answer your question.
No.
Thank you,
My
Dr.
my question,
Harudin.
sorry.
Yes,
My
sure.
question was to can I conduct the business outside Malaysia?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
no problem, no
yes.
problem.
As
Okay,
I
so
say,
there's no
there is
restriction about.
no restriction, but make sure you're able to report it well to your lecturers, and your lecturer will do this kind of due diligence to make sure that you are doing a real business activity. Okay. Okay, I have few more questions on Facebook Live. If there are 5 members in my group, do all 5 of us have to be dropshipper? Only of us represent the group registered as dropshipper. Okay, my answer, only one of you, the leader, going to register as the dropshipper, and then after that you're going to delegate the task. But again, when we actually add you on the WhatsApp group with the vendors, we're going to add everyone in the group. You got it? Okay. Then we will work together as a group to sell that one product. Correct. Okay, that means you need to actually have one Instagram only for one group. Okay, it doesn't mean that 5 Instagram or 5 Facebook. No. Okay, so you need to work in a group. Okay. Another question by Tiffany: can we sell homemade food but from the supplier not being a dropship? Yes, I mentioned just now. Dropship is actually for us to guide you. Okay, but if you actually have any vendors that you're comfortable with, or you have make a deal with them first, with the vendors first, it's okay. You may proceed with that. Okay, I have a question. Can we sell multiple of brand but all the product is in food section? Yes, and but you need to actually rebranding your business. For example, there's one business called the Good Shop. For example, they only sell those products from various vendors from social enterprise. But you actually need to come up with this kind of, what we call it, business name. Okay, for example, what you want to actually put it. For example, okay. So any more questions? Banyak sangat soalan ni.
Assalamualaikum,
Okay.
Doctor. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hi. Hi. Assalamualaikum, Doctor. I would
Salam.
like to ask, regarding the product, is there a limitation on how many products we can sell? Like just now, Dr. Sabrina, right, said that her students sold around like 5 different products. So is there like a limitation to how many products, and does it have to be under the same, I mean like same kind, like only food, like the person before me asked?
Okay, for the reporting wise, it's good for you to focus only one category. You might actually have 4 or 5 product, but make sure it's actually in the same category. Okay, you can sell rojak, you can sell what we call it laksa, as long as under food category, because on the Go e-commerce website, they don't actually have the chance for us to change randomly, and for us to actually educate you to do the business systematically. Okay, it's good for you to choose only one product, Amira. Okay.
Yes, thank you, doctor.
No worries. One product category, not one product, one product category. Okay, let me clarify that. Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So yeah, I'm Ziad from School of Computing. So I have a question regarding the financial side of the business. So I'm not quite sure how the business is supposed to exactly be run. So normally in dropshipping, what you do is you would host your service on a website, something like Shopify and so on, but these things cost payment. So is the thing that you mentioned about Instagram and Facebook, is it more towards the store that you have is live on Instagram itself, or you use Instagram and Facebook to run ads, or is it something like organic marketing?
Normally we just advise the student to do organic marketing. That means they just advertise the product through Facebook, through Instagram for business, which is free. And then they can simply link for, that means you need to create Facebook page. Okay. Because your lecturer is going to assess the frequency of your posting, the quality of the copywriting on your Instagram page as well as on your Facebook page. Okay. We don't actually really encourage the student to do this kind of paid advertisement, because based on previous experience, some of the students are quite ambitious. They did that, but they have limited knowledge, and eventually they're actually making loss because they're actually being charged more than what they expected to pay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so and also regarding the payments as well. So when you have customers and they want to buy your products, what's the platform that they should access?
Online banking, just a normal online banking. Okay, so that's the reason why, for example, like for those Malaysian, we actually want to have this kind of evidence of business transaction or financial transaction through online banking. Through CIMB Click, you just screenshot, okay, the money transfer from the customers to you, or perhaps the money transfer from you to the suppliers or vendors. Okay, so make sure you screenshot any kind of evidence. Okay, it's very important for you to put or include in the report. Okay.
So it's not through payment platforms such as like Stripe or Shopify or something like that, but instead just
no. We don't actually go to the advanced level.
okay.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Jack, for the question. Okay.
May I ask, is we are going to sell on Facebook only, or we can other platforms like Shopee, Lazada, something?
Okay, for the class purpose, so basically we encourage the student, we actually make it compulsory for the student to do the business on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. That means I believe that most of you have this kind of skill already. That means the moment you share on Instagram, you can simply share it on Facebook immediately. Okay, so that's the reason why we want you to link between Instagram and Facebook, and indeed they are from same company. Okay, but if you actually want to go beyond Instagram and Facebook, it's very encourageable. For example, you want to use Shopee, because Shopee basically provides free shipping during the promotion time, especially during Raya, for example, or 4th April just now. Okay, so you can simply use Shopee as well, but you make the advertisement on Instagram and Facebook. You got it? Okay. The basic requirement for this class, basically Instagram link with Facebook. Okay, or you can use Facebook page and Instagram. But if you want to go beyond, it's okay. Okay, make sure you try to advertise them. Okay, please go to our, normally sometimes people actually link their Facebook to, that means they're going to inform the customers on Instagram, please go to our Shopee shop, for example. Okay, thank you very much, Theo.
Okay,
Have more
thank you.
question? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Doctor, Assalamualaikum, good evening.
Waalaikumsalam and good evening.
I'm looking at the rubrics right now, and under the frequency of posting, to get full marks, it says you have to post 16 posts and above in a month. I just want to clarify on what you mean by posts. Does that mean posts in your timeline, or can post in the stories be counted as well?
Post on the feed. Because the story is going to be disappeared within 24 hours, right? So normally, the lecturer is just going to assess the number of posting based on your feeds. You got it, okay? Rather than story. Yeah, unless if you mix.
What if you put it in a highlights, for example, in Instagram? Is that okay, or do you still prefer post in your feed?
Yeah, okay. So the thing like this, yeah, you can basically you can put both, right? Nick Adam. Nick Adam, I'm quite familiar with your name. You are the one that attended the design thinking class just now. Last week.
Yeah, that's me, doctor. That's me.
Okay. So basically back to your main questions. Because the moment you want to actually show how many posting, definitely your lecturer is going to visit your Instagram page. What they see first, basically the number of posting on the front page of the Instagram. Okay. In case you want to highlight the number of stories, I believe that you need to. Dr. Sabrina, the Sabrina is much more expert. How are we going to assess the stories? The highlight on Instagram.
Instagram stories?
No, because the story is going to be disappeared. Okay, within 24 hours on Instagram. Okay, so he suggested that is it possible for us to count the number of highlight, which is highlight of the stories on our Instagram?
Yes, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay.
So we measure using the highlights, no problem, because it's already stated which week that they post.
Okay, good. Okay.
No problem.
So yeah. So but again, Nick, you need to highlight that on your report because not every lecturers are quite familiar. I'm sorry to say, to all the lecturers, not every lecturer are quite familiar with Instagram. Okay. Our generation are much more Facebook generation. Okay. So if you actually want to highlight what have you done on the Instagram, so make sure you put on the report. Okay. Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you, doctor.
No worries.
Doctor, I have a question here.
Okay. So we have another guys. Sorry, we have another 9 minutes before I end the session. So please ask the question right now. Okay. Yes, please, Xiao Tong.
Yeah, let's say our business activity is using both Lazada and Shopee. Then do we need to include one of the sales or can we combine the sales together?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But the thing like this, you can combine, but make sure you report on the Go e-commerce. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. No worries. Okay. I want to read a few questions from the Facebook Live. Is the business proposal idea assignment given reflects different assessment? Business proposal idea is actually the business teaching. Okay, you are not doing the real business, but for the dropship is actually part of the business activity. Okay, which is CLO number 4. Okay, so CLO number 4, it doesn't mean that you only can do dropship. No, what I meant, we actually have a program to assist you to conduct the business activity through dropship program. But if you opt not to follow the dropship business, it's okay. Okay, perhaps you have your own business. For example, one of my students, one of the group of in my class, decided that they want to actually sell their own kuih raya. They want to produce it. So I'm more than happy. Okay, for the group to proceed with that kind of proposal. That doesn't mean that he actually participate in the dropship business. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Any more question? I believe there are so many questions. Okay, doctor, can I ask, is SAM related to this assignment? Okay, SAM is actually to support the students in doing CLO2 and CLO3 and provide the opportunity for the lecturers to choose the best team, okay, to represent the group. Okay, having said that, all of you will go through this kind of innovation project and business teaching, but your lecturers only choose one best team to represent the group. That's it. Okay, it's actually continuity of the class activity, and we have that kind of program. Okay, siapa bergaduh ni? I'm not pretty sure who's actually fighting on the WhatsApp or Facebook. Sorry. If let's say no people buy the product, so can we buy our own product for the sale required? Definitely, that's a very good question. Okay, no. The answer is try to actually, in doing the business, try to actually start the sales activity among your close friend and family members. Okay, you got it. Okay. So not actually for you. You are the one that produce, you are the one selling for you. It's like you sebenarnya buat kuih sendiri lah. No. Okay. For example, if I give the example like bake a cake, so that means you bake the cake and you consider you sell to yourself. No, actually a business activity. Abigail, are you there?
Yes,
I got
doctor.
familiar. Were
Yes,
you my
doctor.
previous student?
Yes.
Oh, you actually just taking the subject.
Yes,
You
doctor.
should enter my class now. No, just kidding. Okay, nice to meet you here. Okay,
Thank you, doctor.
any more questions? I just to try to glance through the question that being posted on Facebook. Why can't we sell more than one category? Can we just sell other stuff, just include in the report instead of e-commerce? The thing is, all of you need to put on the Go e-commerce because it's part of the university KPI to the ministry. Okay, so that's the reason why we actually advise you to do similar kind of product category. But okay, this is another trick. In case you decided you don't have any kind of option, okay, in a team of 5, so you actually want to do 2 different product category. The answer is you can do that even though it's not really encourageable, but you need to divide. 2 of you focus on one product category, another 3 focus on another product category. That can be done as long as eventually all of you report, okay, to on the Go e-commerce and combine that as the group sales on the group report. Okay. Okay, any more question? Kalau kenakan modal seuntung tu kena tolak modal ke? Yeah, okay. For the sales basically tak tolak modal. Okay, that means sale is actually the number of sale that you manage to generate. But for you to calculate profit later, most probably you need to take your capital as part of counting your profitability. Okay, and perhaps you can also highlight in terms of your ROI, return of investment letter. Okay. So how many minutes? I have another 4 minutes before I need to end the session. Yes, please.
I have a question. Is it we need to make a post, right? Is about the marketing content, right? Is it okay if we just use the marketing content from the supplier or from the HQ?
Yes.
But
Yes.
how about the
No.
copywriting?
Normally, if you do this kind of dropship, for example, the vendor's going to give you this kind of picture as well as copywriting, but you actually have the room to edit it based on your creativity. And then make sure, for example, what I advise my students to do when it comes to dropship, whatever that been given by the vendors, by the suppliers, so make sure you try to edit and put another hashtag. For example, you can put hashtag your subject UHAK1032 section 13, for example. So you need to be creative, or you put like UTM camp, UTM Johor, UTM Skudai, for example. You got it? Okay, it's okay. Just take it whatever. That's why that's the beauty of doing dropship. Many of the content basically been provided by the vendors, but you still have the room to do it. That means to modify it. Okay. Am I answering your question, Habil?
Yes, thank you so much.
No worries.
One last question, please.
Yes, please.
For direct selling, I won't be using e-commerce, right? Since like all the receipts are like made by me and myself, right?
Sorry. Can you repeat, Mustafa? Can you speak louder?
For e-commerce, I won't be using e-commerce since I'll be direct selling, right? It's gonna be for dropshipping. That's it.
Mustafa, what I mean by Go e-commerce, basically the system for reporting. Okay. The one that I showed you just now, not actually doing the e-commerce platform, have this kind of ad card. No. You can actually go with the what we call it direct selling, but make sure you make the sales report on the, we call it the system as Go e-commerce. You got it? Okay. sorry for the
Yes.
yeah, to make me confused, sorry. Just a curious question, do you have to worry about copyright? Yeah, this is something that perhaps if you actually taken the content from the suppliers, which is, I think there's no issue of copyright. But again, yes, I believe that what has been raised by Amirul, you also need to know the aspect of copyright. Make sure if you actually taken what we call it picture, video from someone, make sure on your copywriting you give the credits to them. You fahamkan if you using Twitter, you highlight, tag them, okay? Credit them. That means picture taken from whom, video taken from whom. You got it, okay? So this is one of the ways to what we call it minimize the copyright issue. Okay, so I have 1 more minute. I open for the last question.
Doctor, I have a
Yes, yes,
question.
please. Raja
Uh,
Aiman.
so in the rubric it says that we have to do 10 posts in order to gain 5 marks. 10 posts of hard sell and 10 posts of soft sell. So that means that by the end of this assignment, we should have at least 20 posts in total in order to get 5 marks for each part. Is it?
Correct, correct. But the post is actually sometimes your lecturers also want to see the quality of your posting. Other student, there's student, they just post picture and then buy this product. That's it. The copywriting is very bad, and then the picture is just like just taken for granted. That means not really quality. So your
Yeah.
lecturers have the description that has the what we call it uh um your lectures actually have the discretion to minus your mark. Okay, so make sure, that's why kalau if you look at the rubric, there should be some criteria. Okay, for example, they are follow AIDCA method. Okay, that means the copywriting should be quality one, able to attract attention, and then have this kind of call to action. It's not only post the picture without any description. It couldn't be included. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I believe that maybe later we're going to have some kind of session, sharing session, for example, the copywriting technique on Facebook or on social media. At least we have a better understanding about type of copywriting, especially soft sell, hard sell, and the criteria. Okay. Okay, so I believe that we are moving towards the end. I hope that by tonight you have a better understanding. I'm not saying that you have what we call it understanding, but at least what what is this?
I think this one, the Toma, please. You can stop the sharing.
I'm not sharing that.
No, I mean for the student, I think the student doing this.
Okay.
Okay, but we have the record. All right, don't worry, we have the record.
Okay. Oh, I'm very shocked with that kind of things. Okay, so any more question, guys?
Doctor, just one last question.
Okay, please.
One last tiny question. I just want to ask, is there a certain audience we're aiming for?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Is there a certain audience that we're aiming for?
That means
Like,
for
I
your
mean,
product?
yeah, for selling, like, you know how when we sell, we have an aim.
So this is where your what we call it, your lecture will guide you how basically you're able to identify your target market. Okay, so that means who are your real customers. If previously it's quite easier for the student to do this kind of business activity. They're just selling the product to their classmate. But since we have this kind of limitation to go back to the campus, so you need to target your audience correctly. You got it? Okay. If you're
Alright,
selling
thank you,
cosmetic,
Doctor.
for example, okay, I'll give an example. If you're selling cosmetic, that means the price is quite pricey. So make sure you just targeting those who are coming from middle income earners, for example, who are young professional. You got it? Okay. Okay, any more questions?
Doctor,
Yes, please.
can the customer pay using e-wallet?
Yes. No worries at all. As long as you can provide this kind of history transaction of history. You got it. There should be transaction history, so that could be used as an evidence. Okay.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
No worries. Okay, so I believe that you are moving towards the end of our sharing session. Any kind of questions we're going to communicate with you through your lectures. If you have any question with regard to the business registration, Go e-commerce, or perhaps you want to ask regarding our dropship program, so as well as our what we call it endowment, microcredit endowment. So please drop an email to us, utm@utm.my. So we more than happy to assist you. Okay, I think that's all, everyone. Make sure all of you have signed in the attendance form for today. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you very much for your
Okay,
kind
can you
attention.
send the attendance form, doctor? Again?
Yeah.